Hey, welcome to Daejuan's Aerial Quad channel. This is the last video from day 2, the last video from Colorado. This is just east of this little town called Dubuque, which I believe is how you pronounce that. Almost 500 people in the town, and the elevation is almost 500 or 5,000 feet. We're about half hour east of Grand Junction. That's where I stayed that evening. And this video is one of those times where you don't really plan on recording something. I thought that the last one, the No Name Rest Area, was the last place I'd be recording. But then this just appeared as I was driving. There was a very striking mountain formation here to the right of me. And I wanted to get a closer look. I've learned on this trip, here already on day 2, that even if you don't think you're going to fly again, throw the batteries for the drone on the charger, because you never know what you're going to actually come across. And this is certainly one of those situations. So, as I remember, this is actually the second battery. The first battery I did not fly over to that, or the first battery I did, but I did not record. The second battery I flew around some, but I didn't go very much that direction. The third battery is where I really try to get on over there. And we will learn about the limitations of line of sight and connection with the DJI Mini 4K. So I'm going to let the music play for a while, and we're going to come back a little later. Okay, here we are. This is that third and final battery, last flight of the day. And up there toward the left, that upper left peak is the one that really caught my eye. We're facing north right now, or at least relative to the highway, assuming the highway is running directly east-west here, which I think it was. But yes, right where we're pointed now, that from a little bit farther east really looked striking. And we're going to find out just how far we can actually go from the closest place I was legally able to park. There are some limitations on technology. There's also limitations on how risky do you want to get. Because in this case, I was almost to the hotel. It had been a very long day of driving. And I just didn't want to hassle with anybody or be hassled by anybody. So I didn't attempt to get over onto this north end of the highway and find somewhere to park. If I was going to do this again now, having flown a lot more and flown in a lot more interesting places, I maybe would have. Like maybe right there where the camera is centered, maybe I could have found a way to park there. This was a Saturday, as I recall, and certainly after 5 local time, so probably would have been just fine. But yeah, give you an idea of the distance you can cover pretty quickly. This long shot, or this long push here this direction, I was probably in sport mode, so probably going about 30 miles an hour. And I'm gaining elevation. Again, I'm staying within the rules relative to the terrain. But even still, I was about to discover that between some wind that was starting up here as you get higher up onto the mountain, and just the distance angle and whatever is between me and the thing I'm wanting to look at, it gets tough. But that is just an absolutely striking feature. You can see all the layers. How many millions of years of sediment buildup are we looking at here? I assume it's sedimentary. I'm not a geologist by trade. But the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So let's see how much farther we're going to make it before we learn our limits. Yep, that turn, and it looks like we are going in the direction of the camera. So the decision has been made that we're not going to make it all the way there. So we're going to head back east a little bit and just get some more angles of everything. I know for this video, for a lot of these, I didn't think to actually take any stills. But for this video, the thumbnail will be part of actually just one image from a panoramic shot. Those panoramic shots are neat, but there's not a great way to display them on YouTube. You can look at them just on your PC as a file. You can look at them in this case, on the phone when you're connected to the drone right afterwards. But yeah, not going to work very well on a YouTube video, at least not as far as I've figured out so far. There, they see the gimbal is been set off. There's some wind over here. Absolutely some wind. All right, we'll let dead armadillo sounds play a little bit more for us, and we'll wrap this up at the end. All right, so that has been an attempt, not quite a success, but an attempt to look at that very interesting rock feature over there, just east of Dubuque, Colorado, not quite to Grand Junction, here on I-70. And that'll do it for this video, last video from day 2. Tomorrow we finally get into Utah. And by tomorrow, for you, I mean next week. Thank you for watching Dejuan's Aerial Quad channel. Hope to see you next time.